I know that when you put a pumpkin on your head, it sort of does this thing. But did you know that if I do it in F5 mode, the pumpkin texture is rendered backwards? So the carved out face is actually on the back of my head. Weird.
We think that's weird. You should see it from my perspective.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft The Journey with me, bugmancx, and we're currently in Minecraft Beta 1.5 in this series which we love, where we're upgrading a survival world of Minecraft all the way from the very beginning of the game's development right up until the current modern day release. And I have been taking some inspiration from this very nice weather because, as you know, in the last episode we had a little bit of a tragedy. Yes, we experienced our first thunderstorm and it burnt down the log factory. Whoops. So I've got to find some time to rebuild that and also farm some trees because there's quite a bit of wood involved in rebuilding that, but we'll get to it. Meanwhile, around here at the lakefront, I've decided to build a few little things. I've got an umbrella here with an umbrella stick and some sunbeds here so you can enjoy lazing by the lake and enjoying yourself. Over here, I've also added one more over here. And here by the mini lake, there is a pool toy, so if you want to dive in and float around the pool, you can just pop into this thing and float around the mini lake here, or at least that's what I see this thing as. And over here we've got a large umbrella. This would be a little area for people to break out and socialize and have a good time. You could seat about 8 or 9 people here under the umbrella, something like that. That's a very large umbrella, isn't it? But it does fit the space, so I thought that worked quite well. We've got a bit more building to do today as well. I need to develop this area over here. Now, as a reminder, this area over here was supposed to be more like the town square. So let's just recap on what we've got. Town square with a few shops and other bits and pieces, town style buildings. Over here we've got the factories, the brick factory which needs finishing, the log factory which needs rebuilding. Over this way, this is just going to be kept fairly natural. I'm not going to make too many changes to that. Of course, here we have my humongous house where I live, and over here the smaller houses which are all spread out all over this little hillside here where all of the fishing villagers live. And up here we have a decking which is a viewing platform, which if I hop up, you get a great view of the lake and the sunset if the sun happens to be going down, which it's not just yet, it will be in a little while, but you get a great view of this whole surrounding lake area. So we've got quite a bit of rebuilding to do to bring life to this place. So let me get myself organized and we'll do just that. Now let's talk about this area, shall we? Maybe this seems a little bit out of place for a fishing village, but I kind of knew what I wanted when I built it. And that is to have 4 portals all going around in a square shape like this so that you can enter the nether from any side and come out in the same portal on the other side. And then you can just walk off the edge like this and go off to any of the directions and it would take you to different places around here. So if you head off in this direction, it'll take you on a path that leads you around to the industrial area. If you go down here, you've access to the lakefront. Over here, you've got access to the rear section of the city town section I think we're going for, and over here I think I'm going to put a town hall or some kind of building right here at the end here which is sort of overlooking this whole space. And then dotted around here in different spaces will be some shops and other municipal buildings buildings around this little area. So I need to get designing. I also need to get myself some seeds because I don't have very many. I've basically got these 22 on me, but luckily there's a feature in beta 1.5 that we're going to take advantage of. And to do that, we're going to have to come back here to the Alpha House. Oh, it's been a while since I've been out here. And the reason we had to come out this way is because we have this humongous wheat farm. Now you may remember that when I built this wheat farm, there's no way for you to get any of the seeds when you harvest this thing if you use the water system up the top. So basically I had to come along here and break all of the crops manually, otherwise I wouldn't get these seeds back. But in beta 1.5, apparently when you wash the crops down with flowing water, you'll now get seeds along with the wheat. So that should be an easy way for us to gather up all the seeds that we need. Let's check it out and see if it's happening. Yes, it is. It is happening. We're getting seeds. Whoop, we're also going down with the farm. So I should be able to break all of these other layers here and completely open up the farm. Whoop, I can't get across now. What have I done? And I should be able to get all the seeds I need. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Aside from the fact that I have to pick up some of these items manually on these little access ways here, this is still a pretty efficient farm. I mean, look at that. We have so many items down here. We've got so many items, in fact, that the sound cuts out because there were just too many sounds to play all at once. So what did we get from that haul? 1, 2, 3, 4.5 stacks of seeds and about the same of wheat, or 3.5 of wheat. So that is very efficient. Where did I get saplings from? I don't know. But anyway, one of the other things that changed in Beta 1.5 as the sun sets is that items flow down water at a much more increased speed, which also makes this farm that much quicker to use. Looks like after fully replanting, I made a profit of 2 stacks and 2 of seeds, so that's not too bad. A couple of runs of this and I should have more seeds than I'll need. You know what I think we should call this thing? The crop circle, because that's effectively what it is. It's just a big giant circle of crops. It took me a little while to complete this and get all the seeds together and put all the water in, but it is done. And I've also lit up the other sides of this portal here, so this frame is now fully complete. The next steps are to expand this area surrounding it a little bit, set these paths off in their directions going off to this area and all of the other areas, and start to make this place feel a bit more alive. I've been busy working on these pathway areas going around the crop circle in the middle here, and I've also been out in the fields, look at my hotbar, picking flowers. You should have seen me out there. It was a beautiful weather and I was just enjoying the peace and quiet and the beautiful flowers until my hay fever kicked in, and then I had to run back home and get some tissues, and it was just a nightmare. But I thought we could use these to just jazz up this area here a bit and add a little extra dimension of nature, which is always nice. But unfortunately, these flowers are really annoying to gather. These daffodil things, what are they, dandelions? They're not so bad because they're everywhere. But these roses, they're not so common. And so my targets were red. Anywhere I saw red, I just ran for it and picked up the yellow ones along the way. So hopefully I have enough. It looks like I should. To finish off 2 of each type. I believe I will. So let me finish planting and we'll see what it looks like. Oh baby, look at that. Looking really good now. Everything's coming along nicely, except I am having to get in here every now and then and fix up some of these blocks where the animals have got in and trampled the crops. Maybe there's going to be a better way for us to deal with that, although for now I don't know, because I like it being open like this, so I'll just deal with it. Over here is where we're going to install our very first shop, and this shop is going to be dedicated to my first Scarab Beetle level Patreon Game Bear. So I've got an inventory full of interesting coloured wool blocks here, and I'm going to build the perfect shop for Game Bear. And I have been busy over here because we have an almost complete little clock shop, and I quite like it. When this place has more buildings dotted around the edges, this should all look a lot better. But for now, this is our very first clock. And so very first shop. And this is based on the Minecraft clock, as you can probably tell from the shape. It's not a full-size replica, it's been shrunk down quite a bit, and it's obviously missing its sundial bit in the middle here, so I need to climb up to the top and finish this shop properly. It's the last piece that I need to install, so we've got our gold blocks here and we'll just fill these gaps in. Now, as you can see, this has been quite an expensive build because it involves a lot of gold, a lot of blue, which requires a lot of lapis. So yeah, there was definitely a lot involved in putting all the materials together for this. Although inside, the shop itself is not too big. It's just a small little clock shop. I'll show you around what's going on. At the back here, we have the counter section where the storekeeper would probably work. Inside of here, they've got a couple of clocks here ready to be sold. This is the only stock that the shop has at the moment because other than these 2 gold ingots here, I'm completely out of gold now. Over here we have a display case, and you've just got to imagine that this is full of clocks or watches or whatever, because at the moment there's no real way that I can do this in Minecraft, so this is as close as I could get. Over here we have use your imagination. This is a grandfather clock. As you can see, it's quite tall. It's got a clock face at the top, and it's made of this dark wood here. And up here above the counter is a cuckoo clock. It's huge, but it is a cuckoo clock because it has the door on it, and when the clock strikes the right time, the cuckoo will pop out. Unfortunately, the door goes the wrong way because Minecraft, but I thought that was another fun little addition. And of course, this shop is open to the sky to make sure that we have plenty of light in here and it's not all dingy and dark. But I'm pretty pleased overall with this build, and we need to now give it a name. So I've got a sign here, and this is going to be called GBK Enterprises. Doesn't fit, does it? GBK Enterprises, purveyors of fine time pieces. Please fit. It does. Purveyors of fine time pieces. Wow, what a mouthful. Well, I might tidy that sign up a little bit later on, but you get the idea. So thank you for your pledge, Game Bear. This is your shop. I hope you enjoy it. Well, this is new. I was over at the town square building, and a skeleton was hanging around, so I decided to jump into the bed. Now, my bed over there is arguably not in a very good spot. It's out in the open, and I thought I was pretty safe. I had some torches around it, and I went to sleep hoping that the night would pass, and then those mobs would just disappear. And then a creeper exploded, and I got sent back to spawn because it also blew up my bed. But I am apparently at 449,274. That's interesting because my world spawn is 00, and it's 00 because it's been 00 since the very beginning. And I think at some point during beta, something's creeping up on me. I think at some point during beta, the world spawn might have been spread out from the surrounding area of 00, and that's why I've appeared here at 449,274. And this is the first time that I've experienced being in the middle of nowhere. There are a lot of mobs around me, as you can see. And at the moment, I can't see a thing, so I don't know how to get back. And if this is going to become... That's a creeper. If this is going to become the new world spawn, then that's going to be problematic for me because I need to figure out if this is always going to be the same world spawn space, or maybe I'm going to appear in different spaces around this area. A bit more like it does in the modern game. Anyway, I'm currently baffled. I'm waiting for this moon to go down so that I can see what my surroundings are and try and figure out the best way to get home without dying again, hopefully. But yeah, this is throwing things off a bit. No, creeper, no. I was just waiting for the sun to come up. A spider has already attacked me once. I don't want to die to a creeper out here. I just want to figure out what's going on. So, oh, no. Okay, let's see where I spawn. 450,274. How interesting. So I checked the game files, and it does look like my world spawn location has changed, and it changed on the 21st of May, which for me was in between filming the last episode and this one. So I don't really know what caused this. There's a pillar up there that I have no idea what that is. I don't even really know where I am. There's another pillar there. Let's get out of here. Let's head up here and see if we can figure out our location. As I said earlier, this has really thrown me off. Whoa! No. Not another one. That's the last thing I need. What are these pillars? I don't even remember placing these pillars. I'm going to head up and see if anything looks familiar. I've been following these pillars back to where they originate, and that is here. If you recognize this, then well done. This is the path from spawn to the alpha house. And this line in particular, right along here, is the chunk boundary. In fact, just beyond that little hill there is where the rail line goes that we just created, the one that goes from world spawn to the alpha house. And this is the old trail that I used to follow whenever I would die and have to make my way back to the alpha house. So why has my world spawn changed from 00, which is just over there, to 450,79 or whatever it was, which is way over there? And here, of course, is the utter destruction that was left behind by that creeper. Thank you very much, creeper. Now I've just got a mess now I've got a big mess to clean up. Now, before we were so rudely interrupted, I was working on this, which is a bit of an open-air butchery. Imagine it's the middle of the 19th century, you know, kind of cowboy era, and we've got this open-to-the-air butchery here with a big stone slab here so that you can do all of your butchering and your deboning and whatever else it is that you need to do. And up here we've got some hanging meats here that are air drying, ready to be sold or ready to be carved up. So I've got a couple of things here. I've got some netherrack and I've got a couple of pieces of soul sand. And what we're going to do is we're going to hang a couple of pieces of meat just like that. Ugh. Yeah, okay. That's selling it for me. And over here, we're going to use the soul sand. This one is perhaps a bit of aged meat. It's even got funny little faces in it. Distressing. Maybe this is aged meat, which is why it's darker in color. And of course, over here, we've got these chests in the back here. And this is where all of the cuts of meat are stored, ready to be sold. Up the top here, I've run out of wool, which is why this is incomplete. But this is going to be sort of a sail of sorts. Maybe a cotton sail or something like that, just to keep, you know, everything fresh and away from the harsh sun up here, even though there is a lot of air flowing through. And this shop, as I said, it's designed to be open to the air. It's not meant to be an enclosed shop, so you'll get to see a lot as you're walking past. Like up here, you'll be able to see these hanging meats here and such, which I think makes for a really cool effect. Fine meats bought and sold. On the topic of butchery, in Beta 1.5, if a pig dies while it's on fire, it will now drop a cooked pork chop. So let's give this a try. Ooh, that looks like it hurts. I'm sorry, pig, but it's for the sake of science. Oh, and look at that, cooked pork chops. This is very useful because cooking them up takes a long time. You have to put them in the furnace one by one, and this may just be a convenient way of getting cooked pork chops without having to do all of the work. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. Yum. It's also my understanding that this will work on zombie pigmen as well, because if you remember, the zombie pigman does drop a raw pork chop if it dies. But earlier on, when the nether was introduced in Alpha 1.2.0, when these pigmen would die on the flames, they would drop a cooked pork chop. So let's see what happens to you. Why aren't you setting on fire? Are you impervious to fire now? No, you're not. Okay. Is it hurting you? I don't know. This zombie pigman doesn't seem to be taking any damage to fire at all, which makes sense because I do recall that the ghast and the pigman were made impervious to fire just in case they, you know, wandered into it inside of the nether. It makes sense that in such a hot, fiery place they wouldn't take fire damage. But what does this mean for our pigman here? Is he just going to be set on fire forever now that he's in this 1x2 space? Well, I must say I'm very happy with our results today. We've done a fair bit of building to get this area started, and this is just too weird. I'm actually facing backwards and trying to talk to you. Yeah, this is the first and only time you'll ever see me do this. This bug gets fixed in the next version. So, thank you for watching. Until the next episode. Oh, that's weird! Until the next episode, extra special thank you to my patrons. Oh, that's thrown me all off. Please check the links below to join my Discord, sign up to Patreon, all the things. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, this has been bugmancx. You've been watching Minecraft The Journey. Bye-bye!